a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC Worldwide and Jib Jab greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. Your full AccuWeather forecast is on the top of this CNC news page. A Henrietta-based medical practice is contacting about 350 patients after being informed by the Monroe County Health Department that it received a shipment of a drug suspected of causing a meningitis outbreak in 9 states. Rochester Brain and Spine says that it was recently notified about cases of fungal meningitis caused by contamination of a steroid called methylprednisolone acetate. On its webpage, the practice says a number of patients in other states who received spinal injections of the compound to control back pain developed the infection. Rochester Brain and Spine says it's contacting all patients involved either via letter, in person, or by phone and explaining what signs and symptoms to watch for. It says so far all of its patients who have been tested came up negative for the meningitis. The state health department says there have been no cases of this fungal meningitis in New York so far. It can't be spread by person-to-person contact. It says the Rochester practice was one of only 3 in the state and the only one upstate which got a batch of the contaminated drug. The other clinics were on Long Island and the New York City suburbs. The Centers for Disease Control hasn't determined the exact source of the fungus, but they have linked it to batches of the steroid produced by the New England Compounding Center at a plant in Framingham, Massachusetts. All of that product has been recalled. The CDC says infected patients typically display symptoms 1 to 4 weeks following their injection, and they include fever, new or worsening headache, nausea, and in some cases symptoms consistent with deep brain strokes. The Monroe County Legislature's Democratic Party caucus has rolled out a proposal it says will start to address an unacceptably high rate of infant mortality in the county. Legislator Stephanie Aldersley of Irondequoit called this a moral obligation to ensure the safety and well-being of friends and neighbors. The Democrats are reacting to an awareness campaign launched last month by the Prenatal Network in Rochester. The group says 54 newborns died in Monroe County last year before they became 1 year old. The Democrats want to authorize County Executive Maggie Brooks to begin discussions with community groups, raising awareness about the problem and educating parents about safe sleeping habits and other community resources available to young mothers. A village police officer who stopped a man for speeding in Leroy Monday asked if that man had any weapons in his car. When the driver answered in the affirmative, the officer searched the trunk, and that's when he found one of these, a live hand grenade. Leroy police say 26-year-old Paul Kaiser of East Aurora told them he made the grenade out of components he bought over the internet. Village Police Chief Chris Hayward said part of Lake Street had to be closed and 8 people evacuated while the state police bomb squad went in and rendered the grenade safe. They also contacted the Erie County Sheriff's Department, which got a warrant and searched Kaiser's home. There's no word on what they found. Kaiser, who also had a semi-automatic weapon in his trunk, was charged with criminal possession of a weapon, unlawful possession of marijuana, speeding, driving with a suspended license, and operating an uninspected motor vehicle. Have you been around long enough to remember when this was Sibley's? The corner of the Grease Ridge Center Mall was most recently a Bon-Ton store, and now crews are tearing into it as part of an $11 million project to demolish what was and to replace it with a 145,000 square foot outdoor plaza. It will have a number of restaurants and retail stores similar to the most recent expansion at the Eastview Mall in Victor. Wilmerite Corporation sold the idea to Monroe County's Industrial Development Agency with the promise of creating 136 new full-time equivalent jobs. On the other side of the Genesee River, a supporter of the Stalled I-Square project in Irondequoit has launched an online petition drive urging the town board to reconsider a long-term tax deal the developer says is needed before he can move the project forward. Aaron Quintero of Irondequoit started the petition on the social media site change.org. More than 400 people had signed it as of Tuesday morning. Last month, the Irondequoit Town Board approved a 10-year payment in lieu of taxes agreement, or pilot, instead of the 25-year property tax deal developer Mike Nolan was seeking. Nolan was unable to reach agreement with the town government, where long-term pilots are in disfavor after their bad experience with the 30-year agreement for the stillborn Medley Center redevelopment. Quintero's petition urges the town board to grant the 25-year pilot, saying Irondequoit won't have a community square without private investors like the Nolans. Police in Canandaigua arrested a 36-year-old man on a seldom heard charge, that of bigamy. Police say Kevin Camp of Canandaigua married a woman on May 19th while he was legally married to another woman, and that is a Class E felony in New York State. Camp is currently spending his time in the Ontario County Jail. And a police standoff in Greece ended peacefully Monday night with a man taken into custody on a mental hygiene arrest. This happened on Marblehead Drive Monday evening. Police said the man called his family saying he was distraught and threatening suicide. Greece police believed he might be armed. They were able to talk the man into surrendering. Police described the suspect only as a man in his 60s. To the left of this window are links to these and other stories, and at the bottom of the page, links for you to use. Post us news items you've written, things you've heard, things you'd like to see checked out. We are a community news resource, and we want to see also your wedding announcements, your birth announcements, new business openings, all that sort of thing is of interest to us. If it's of interest to you, we'll post it up here on your CNC local news pages. Next news as it happens, updates as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.